I have seen it. I can't even talk. I've got such a big smile on my face. I not only at the film, but just at the idea of seeing this film. I cannot believe it's finally here. Okay, let me try and gather my thoughts. This is going to be an initial out of the theater reaction. So a full review will be coming later. I'll be seeing it again later at the end of the week with Blake. So we'll be having a full video out for that. So this is just my initial thoughts straight out of the theater. And I'm going to keep this brief. I'm going to try to keep this under 5 minutes. So we'll see if I do that. I'm not going to bury the lead. I'm just going to come right out and just say this is exactly what the DCU needs to be. And what that is for everyone. My favorite, one of my favorite films of all time is Batman vs. Superman. My favorite Superman film, even still, I won't hide that, even still, is Man of Steel. I love those films. Those are very near and dear to my heart. I've made that very clear. I say that all the time. Those are my favorite films. I absolutely adore those. I am so happy and thankful that this is the direction the DCU is going in, because I want these films to be for everyone. I adore Man of Steel. I love Batman vs. Superman. Those films are not for everyone. This is for everyone. It's a total 180 from the Snyder films. And I don't mean to tie it so much to Snyder, but I just think it's important to highlight, if you could be prepared or take anything away from this review, it's that this is a total 180 from what we've had in the past. Really, from anything we've had in the past. I just watched Superman Returns the other day. I rewatched, the Snyder films earlier this year. This is unlike anything we've ever seen before. This is not a remake of Christopher Reeve. This is not an expansion of the Snyderverse. This is something wholly different. And I guess that's the best way to describe it. This may be the most comic booky film I've ever seen. And that makes it tough to rate because it's really unlike anything I've ever seen before. This was ripped unapologetically straight from the pages of a comic book. It was like watching a comic book brought to life. I watched All-Star Superman earlier this afternoon. This is even more comic booky than that. Like, when I say this is a comic book brought to life, I am not exaggerating. Like, the stuff they do in this movie, they don't explain it. They don't set it up. It's just, this is a comic book universe unapologetically. And I love that. But back to the main thing that I really love is that it's for everyone. That the theater was packed with old people, young people, I guess people in the middle like myself. Like, everyone showed up for this. And there was not a moment in this film where it felt like anyone was excluded or anything like that. It was really, really fantastic. One thing that I can happily report is that this movie is incredibly funny, but this is not a silly movie, I guess I should say. I'm not a huge fan of like a lot of the Marvel humor and a lot of stuff like the point and laugh, well, that just happened type stuff. That's not happening in this. The theater was roaring with laughter because of situational humor, because of things that were actually funny. I mean, there were a couple, jokes here and there, but this was a situationally funny. It was a creatively funny movie. It was funny and actually funny, right? If that makes sense. This was not needlessly like shoving jokes. It was just funny. There were moments that were funny. And the theater was roaring with laughter. Like, it was got genuine laughs from people, and myself included. Like, I'm a hard sell when it comes to humor a lot of times, and I laughed a lot. I thought it was really, really funny. And I thought it was really earnest. I really liked it. I'm not comparing. It's really apples to oranges to the Snyder films, but the depth, the mining for soul searching, the thoughtfulness, the introspection that we got in Man of Steel, and even Superman Returns to a large degree, does not really exist in here. It does. I mean, it's there, and like at the as the film goes on, it brings it on home at the end. Let me just say that. But that's not the focus of this movie. That's not really what it's about. Lex Luthor will be very surface level with a lot of the things he says sometimes, but I liked it. It worked. Like, it worked for this. And that's the thing. It's like, this is not Snyder. This is not Bryan Singer. And this is not Donner. This is a comic book. Like, if I can prepare you for this film, be prepared to see something totally new. This is watching a comic book unfold before your eyes. And that is really cool. That is really, really cool that that is what this film is. And that's why I say this is exactly what the DCU needs to be moving forward. If this is the foundation, I am very excited to see where this goes, because it can really go anywhere. This is a very contained film. I will say that, so you can manage expectations a little bit. This is a very contained film, and I think that works to its betterment. It's a Superman story. It's not a who's who of, hey, look who's here, look who's showing up, and all this stuff. It's like, I'm not saying that's not going to happen, but that's not what it's about. This is a Superman story through and through. Now, okay, I already broke my 5-minute rule, so just forget that. Forget I said that. I'll edit it out. Don't worry about it. Couple other thoughts here. Performances. David Cornswet is fantastic. Oh, he's so good as Superman in this. He feels the most comic book Superman that I've really ever seen. Like, I mean, he's really, really good. I still prefer Henry Cavill. Again, it's like I'm not some Snyder bro coming out here. It's like I prefer those movies. I like Henry Cavill as Superman. I like him a lot. I like what he was doing with that character. But for this universe, damn. David Cornswet is phenomenal, and I think upon rewatches he could really grow to be my favorite. I'll tell you what has grown: my love of the suit. This may be my favorite suit, and I love Cavill's suit. Like, I love the way Cavill's suit fits. This is a great suit, man. Like, I doubted it for so long. The photos we saw, it just didn't look quite right. It looked a little bit boxy. Not in the film. It looks fantastic in the film. It fits him perfectly. He looks great. The way he fights is so cool. It's really, really great. Gosh, he's a phenomenal Superman. If this is the Superman that's going to be, the head of the Justice League whenever that happens, if this Superman is going to be the head of the DCU, we got a great one. We have a great one. Speaking of great ones, Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor was a standout in this film. He was so awesome in this film. He played Lex better than I've ever seen anyone play Lex. Better than Jesse Eisenberg. I know, it's hard to believe. I'm throwing shade, but I love Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor. Unapologetically, I stand by that. But he is, again, ripped straight from the comic page. If you want comic book Lex Luthor, this is comic book Lex Luthor. It's awesome. It's just awesome. Okay, let's see. What else? Rachel Brosnahan, I think that's how you say her name. She was phenomenal as Lois Lane. She was, since Margot Kidder, really the most Lois Lane we've ever had. She was great. I mean, she was really, really, really good. Let's see. The only other thing to say would be Crypto was a fantastic addition. And I think probably, to Gunn's credit, that might be the smartest move he did. Every time Crypto was on the screen, and a lot of the trailers, that's not giving anything away. A lot of the trailers are really the first 20 minutes of the movie. So you've got a lot of surprises in store, which is cool. But a lot of the Crypto stuff, people were won over instantly when they saw Crypto and him interacting with Superman. You immediately like Clark and Superman, because he's a dog guy. He loves his dog and all this stuff. Brilliant move. I tip my hat to James Gunn for making that decision. That was such a smart decision to immediately humanize the character in a way that had never been done and make him sweet and likable and all that stuff. And then Crypto, just in his own right, is just freaking awesome. Crypto was fantastic. Loved him. And that was where a lot of the situational comedy came in. And it was good. It was really funny. The joke I didn't find, or then the audience was laughing pretty much the whole time. Let's see. What else do I want to get out? Again, there'll be another video coming when Blake and I watch this again on Friday, so I'll try and get that video out by the weekend. But yeah, look, if you have not got your tickets for some reason to see this, go and see it. Seriously, go and see this movie. You can take anybody to see this movie. Anybody could have some fun in this movie. If you're a comic book fan, you will love it. If you are just a movie fan, you'll love it. If someone's not a comic book fan, there's enough to enjoy in this. It might get a little over the top for some people because it's very comic booky, but it never feels out of place. Now, there are negatives that I have, despite all the hype and all of me saying, I'm like, oh, I love this is happening, all this. I do, but I don't love this movie yet. If that makes sense. I know this might sound totally contradictory to literally everything I've just been saying, but I'm just trying to add a little bit of nuance here. I gave my initial thoughts of, should you go see it? Do I love what it's doing? Yes to all the above. but I don't love it as a film. And hopefully that doesn't just blatantly contradict what I was just saying, but I love it in a different way. I love that it exists. I love what it's doing. I love all of this. I love that it's for everyone. I love that it's comic booky. Love, love, love. But for me personally, I don't feel like there's enough to chew on to go back to it like I would Man of Steel or like I would even Superman Returns. Like, there is not enough to chew on intellectually in this film for me to go back to it. There's someone getting in the car right next to me. Hopefully you don't hear them. There's not enough for me intellectually to chew on. And I'm not saying like, oh, I require crypto to wax poetic about philosophy. Like, no, I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying, like, the emotional, I never got really that emotional during the film. Like, I never felt, I was laughing, I was having a good time, all that stuff. I never cried, I never felt moved or anything like that. And so, like, I think while it didn't suffer, how do I word that? While my first watch didn't suffer from the lack of that, there we go, I really think future watches will. And that's where the big but comes in here is I don't know how this film's going to do on a rewatch. I don't know how this film's going to do watching it again, because I think the fun, the bombasticness, the chaoticness, all the comic bookiness, all that stuff, I think will wear thin on future watches. There we go. Great example. I mean, I was literally watching All-Star Superman earlier today. I mean, it's now, that's not the best rendition of All-Star Superman, the comic, but it kind of felt similar in a bad way. And what I mean is it felt ripped right out of the comic book. Yes, that's all compliments, all that stuff. But it also just felt super thin. It felt super thin. It felt like a 12-book issue of All-Star Superman cut down into a 70-minute movie that felt very rushed and very chaotic. That's kind of what this felt like a lot of the times. It just felt a little bit chaotic, a little bit all over the place, while also totally cohesive. Like, again, that's like, this is a very functional movie. James Gunn has yet to make a non-functional movie, a non-good movie. I don't know. This is so hard to quantify this because I'm speaking in two different ways, right? But I foresee, we'll see if this is the case in the next video. I foresee this. I foresee myself liking this less on a second watch. The excitement, the hype, the fun, the joy of all of this, I think may be increasing my enjoyment of it. But maybe not. We'll see. Maybe I'll like it more on a second watch. But I just wanted to add this quick disclaimer. It's not all sunshine and roses, but it mostly is. And that's the main takeaway I want you to get from this, is the sunshine and roses part, because there's always going to be buts and there's always going to be personal preferences. And I laid out my personal preferences right at the start, so you know where I'm at. And because of my personal preferences, I just kind of left lacking, things that I would have wanted. And I don't want Henry Cavill Superman style in this. That wouldn't work, but I want some of the depth a little bit. But enough of the negative. Focus on the good stuff that I said at the beginning, because that is 90% of it. The negative is really a 10% thought in my mind to kind of just see how it does with time and with a rewatch. And again, most importantly, this is for everyone. This is a Superman for everyone. This is a DCU that is clearly for everyone. And that just makes me so happy, man. I'm just overjoyed, but thankful for what we've had. As I was watching Superman Returns, as I've watched the old Donner films, and as I watched through my favorites of, Man of Steel and BvS, I'm just so thankful that we got all of these films. I mean, we are so fortunate to have these. I mean, that's all I could think of. I was talking to the guy in the lobby beforehand. We were just talking about, stuff. And I was just telling him, like, I was like, dude, we lived in the same area. I was like, man, this is, close to me. I'm able to drive, 30 to 45 minutes with traffic away to see Superman, and then come see Fantastic Four in a couple weeks. Like, we are so damn lucky, man. Like, we live in at least movies are concerned, one of the best times. And this is such a fortunate thing. And so I never want to take that for granted. And so it's just awesome to be this excited about a film like this and be able to say confidently, go see it. It's really, really worth it. Now if you want more DC EU related thoughts, go check out the video I just posted on the channel. It is a 3.5-hour retrospective tier list that Blake and we recorded actually several months ago, but it just took forever to get the video edited. Not because my editor was slow, but because I was slow in revising. My editor was amazing and she did awesome on it, but I was just slow on my end. So that video is finally up right at the finish line of the DCEU. So definitely check that out. We had a blast making that, and you can hear all of our thoughts on all of those movies and the varying quality that is there. But back to this Superman. Again, I already kind of wrapped this up, so I'm just going to end the video. I'm going to stop rambling. Go see this movie. You don't want to miss it. See it on the biggest screen possible. I saw it on IMAX, in case I didn't mention that. Go see it on IMAX. Unless I'm mistaken, they used the aspect ratio the whole time. Like, it looked like it was IMAX cameras the whole time. So if you can see it in IMAX, go see it in IMAX. You will absolutely get your money's worth for that. But yeah, if you've seen the film, let me know in the comments what you thought. Absolutely no spoilers. If there's any spoilers in the comments, I will block them or mute them, even after the movie's released. Like, we don't do spoilers around here. We don't do that. So drop a comment below if you've seen it. Let me know what you think and how it stacks up against other Superman films. I am so excited. This is going to be just a great future of the DCEU, or the DCU. I'm so used to saying DCEU for like 4 hours in that video, so I'm used to it. But I'm excited for the DCU to start, and this is a great place for it to do so. So, all right. That's all I got. My 5 minutes is up.